the discussion lounge.
I wanted to kick it off with first the something that I really care about, which is the Mandalorian, right? So I think that we all fell in love with with Groot, aka Baby Yoda. We fell in love with the characters. Everything's going fine,
But
and then
Grogu. I think
Grogu.
you said Groot,
Did
bro.
I say Groot? Oh my god,
Groot.
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm blending realities right now, like Wanda's doing.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Grogu.
So
But
Grogu.
it's all right. It's all right. Nobody wants to accept that name, anyways. They just want to call him Baby Yoda.
It's a child or Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone's like, whatever. Call him whatever you want. We're not gonna call him that.
All right. I mean, I want to call him by his name just so that I don't get canceled by people, be like, oh, that's not his name. So, Baby Grogu. But then we have this silly ass Gina. What's her name? Gina Carino. And
Carano.
Carino. It doesn't
right?
matter anymore. We're not gonna see her name in any credits anytime fucking soon. So it doesn't really matter how you pronounce it, right? So she went ahead and did some dumbass shit. So instead of what they like to say, shut up and dribble, she went ahead and tweeted some dumbass anti-Semitic shit. She got in trouble for it. She got fired and let go by Disney, and I think she had a show lined up as far as that was going to be a spinoff off of The Mandalorian. And then, so naturally, people made this a discussion of about cancel culture, right? Is it okay to fire somebody who thinks stupid things? Is it okay to go after somebody's job, somebody's well-being, somebody's career, even if they hold thoughts that are just wildly ridiculous? So yeah, want to throw it over to you guys, how you guys feel about it, and then maybe we can get into the larger discussion of culture of cancel culture. Gio.
Sure. So yeah, she said some stupid shit, and she said stupid shit in the past, right? She talked about what did she say? She said masks are a form of oppression, I believe, right? A couple of months ago, and I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence about this because, like, are we just gonna start firing everybody that like disagrees with us, or just has a different, or just says stupid things like this? Like, I don't know if this is the right. I'm on the fence about it, to be honest. What do you guys say? What does Hector think?
Okay, so I want to say two things.
Or try to convince me. How about that?
Okay, yeah. So let me give you two of my points to put this. I guess you could say justification of firing somebody, or maybe not justification, but just two perspectives that I was seeing it when Alan told me about the story. The first one is was called the false equivalence fallacy. If you ever heard of it, it's a common fallacy. It could occur at any point in time when you're trying to make your argument, because it's very easy to commit it. The reason why it's easy to commit is because you could justify just one aspect of 2 points, or trying to connect two things being the same, right? Just one aspect of or one characteristic of each one, and then kind of oversimplify it by saying that as long as these two things are the same, then both things must be the same. Although we know that's not true, because things, when you compare things, it could be very complex, especially something like what she said. She said that, if I remember correctly, it says something along the lines that being a Jew in Nazi Germany is similar to being a Republican today, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to connect exactly what is it that is the same, and the only thing that I could think of is just the way she feels. Like, maybe in her mind and in her head, she thinks that it's too much, and people are just like maybe treating her bad for it, or maybe, like you said, they're trying to cancel her, and people are attacking her on Twitter because of what she's saying. So maybe, yeah, maybe she just can't take the pressure, and she feels like that oppression is something that these Jews back in the 1930s to like the 1945 or whatever, however long the Holocaust was, that's how they were feeling as well. Even if that was the case, right? Even if we did say that, okay, you guys felt the same way, there's still so many things that is way different. Like, for example, the fact that it was a genocide, okay, and they were just trying to get rid of this group of people for just being a certain way, for being born a certain way, or for thinking a certain way that wasn't necessarily bad. And I don't, obviously we don't see that. Like, no one's trying to, like, hang or kill any one of these Republicans that think wild things about anything. Like, yeah, we do like talk smack about them. We say like that they're dumb, or that maybe their logic is wrong, but it doesn't go as far as to like go ahead and get like a whole nation against you and trying to, like, kill you off. So that's my first point. My second point is, as an employee, right? If you're employed by an employer, there's such thing as like off-duty conduct that you could get in trouble for, right? And maybe for her it's a little bit more complex because she probably has a contract, but Lucasfilm and Disney, they probably have like something set, that tells you like, hey man, you can't be acting a certain way or saying certain things because you're gonna get us in trouble, because we're kind of like, you're kind of representing us. You're representative of our company, so you gotta act accordingly. And just like any contract, like if you don't like it, you could just opt out. By her just staying there and being part of the show and getting paid, she's just kind of like assuming that we're presuming that she accepted the terms of the contract.
Mhm.
Yeah. I I want to add on top of that, like to further try to convince Gio, I guess. Like you wouldn't accept that at any other like workplace, right? Like if like your coworker, like you found out that your coworker was saying some anti-Semitic shit, and you got Jewish coworkers, and you're like, yo, like this is super conflict. Like, yo, like my coworker over there, like kind of is not cool with just basically like the beliefs that I'm free to have. So at that point, like do you fire that person as well? Just you kind of would, right? Like even if they said anything like remotely racist or whatever like that, like that's kind of like termination, like right away, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So to me, I think like working for Disney and Lucasfilms is a privilege, and yeah, you should behave, in a certain manner. I think, and yeah, I don't think she deserves to work there anymore. I mean, she got fired, so yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. As a corporation, Disney can decide to do whatever it wants, right? Like, like Hector was saying, there was a breach of the contract, right, or the social contract, and now we get rid of her, right? Um, now, now, when it comes to the larger issue of cancel culture, where can this go, right? Like uh, how could this potentially spiral out of control? Not to say that it is happening at all right now, right? But under what circumstances could this be used against not people on the right wing, but people on the left, right? Um, and how would we protect against that? You know,
Can you give like an example? Like,
well,
I mean,
you see people on um so there's a lot of demonetization happening on YouTube, right? A lot of left wing channels have been demonetized, and it's not clear why. Why they're just talking about politics, but there's never really a clear answer as to why they're being demonetized or being kicked off of the platform. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think like when it comes to like internet, like YouTube demonetization and stuff like that, like or Twitch or whatever, I think like a lot of their rules are like really iffy and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
sometimes they don't get an answer, like when Doctor Disrespect got banned or whatever, and he never got an answer, and there was YouTube's and videos on speculation on why and all that good stuff. Um, I think that's just a little different than like in the workplace, like when you're actually working with people, like on
Mhm.
set, and like you're actually, you know, definitely most likely there's Jewish people that you're working with and have to get along with, and you're your tweet went viral, and so now everybody knows how you feel about this certain thing, and uh yeah, I can see it definitely, like, you know, it being like, where's the line, right? This is one of those conversations of like, where do we draw the line? How much is too much? Uh, yeah, Hector, what do you think?
Um, yeah, like, well, I mean, I do understand what you're saying in terms of like being on the fence about it, because just sitting here and hearing you guys talk, um, like, I'm trying to think, like, well, is it? I guess the two questions I have, like, well, was it justified? Is it justified? Was it justified? And then the second one's like, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is it. We talked about it, like, it really depends on the employer and the employee, right? Because someone could get fired for doing X, Y, and Z in one company, when there's another company that would allow that and just kind of like brush it off, right? So it's just between the employer and the employee at that point, the justification. But is the part that, is it right um, to do so? I mean, that I don't have an answer for. I don't feel bad, that she got fired. I think that you like, everything that you do has consequences, whether they're good or wrong, or good or right, or they're good or bad. Is what I'm saying. Everything has consequences, and it looks like she's been kind of setting this up from a long time ago. Like, this is not her first, like, thing that she said that was like just crazy. Like, we have a record of her saying other things, or writing other things, or thinking a certain way from, I don't know how far back. So I think they I think that I think the public plays a huge role as well, because the public is if it goes viral, like Alan was saying, if it goes viral, then of course Lucasfilm and Disney is going to notice, and they're going to be like, oh man, like, they're left with a choice at that point. They are a company that does production and does movies and shows. So the public has a lot to say about who stays and who goes at that point. Because if you ask yourself, is it worth keeping her around, and then a bunch of people just dropping you know our shows or even our platforms because of it? I'm pretty sure that's how they kind of like reason the move.
It's a business decision
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
I
point. Yeah.
think I think so too. And like you said, for whatever, like, it might not have been that reason. It could have just been like, you know what, we just don't want to have you here anymore.
Yeah. I think where that line is drawn is maybe up to debate, right? There, I've heard people on the left also make that argument that the line, that maybe she may have not crossed the line, and then there's a lot of people also saying that, yeah, she definitely
Hey,
crossed the
Gio,
line.
real quick, your microphone's rubbing against your jacket.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so
That
yeah,
It's rubbing against something.
it's the plastic, like even the
sorry.
bar. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
How's that? How's that?
Better. Yeah, sorry.
All right, so yeah, even I heard even people on the left saying that So the question is, where is the line drawn, right? I've heard people on the left say that the line wasn't crossed, and other people say yes, the line was definitely crossed. And so then, at what point is the line? Like, is it a call for violence, right? That's definitely crossing the line. Is she calling for violence? I don't think so, right? She's just making a really stupid comparison, like you said earlier, right?
Yeah.
And is that call for being fired, right? Is the question.
Yeah, and I think it also depends just on like how the other people who work around her felt about it, right?
Yeah.
Because like I think what's paramount is keeping a healthy work environment, right? So like
Yeah.
that's what, like, keeping everybody comfortable, keeping everybody happy, like, so that they
Hmm.
can, making movies is hard. Like, it's super hard. I've worked in the industry, and like just to make commercials, like, it's crazy hard,
Hmm.
so yeah, that being said,
I
I
agree with
kind of
that.
want to like break bread also a little bit with with the right and like saying like if it is not break bread but like play devil's advocate, right? So like if firing somebody is too much, right, and cancel culture has gone too far, what other punishment can there be? Like it's not like a player in sports where you could bench them for like an episode or two, or like dock them some pay for like saying some dumb shit. Like what could be like other recourse instead of just completely like giving like killing somebody's career off that way?
Well, I would think maybe just talking to the individual and saying, "Hey, man, stop saying dumb shit." Sorry, or just talking to the individual. I mean, just like when you make a mistake at work, right? Like there's a verbal warning, right? The first one before you get your write up, they just tell you like, "Hey, man, you made a mistake. This is what the mistake was. I understand you haven't made mistakes in the past, but if I know that you could do better. I know you could be better, and that's it." And then just leave it up to the individual to see how they perform moving forward.
Yeah,
But
and this actually brings up what you said earlier, is that she, or both of you, that she had like prior offenses, right? So she was already doing this dumb shit before. So like you didn't grow as a person on your own, right? In that time, and you only got worse. Like now you're saying crazier shit, right? So like
mm,
you were already teetering the line of like, man, like you're keep going this way and you're gonna get canceled. And she just fucking, instead of being like, yo, like I'm lucky to be where I'm at right now, like maybe I should chill out with this shit. She's like, nah, like I'm gonna go hard. And I think that like a person like that, like you said, somebody who doesn't have history of it before, maybe says some
mhm.
dumb shit, then you're like, hey man, like just go out there and say you didn't mean that, whatever. She can't say that, right, because she has those prior offenses. So yeah, I think that it's totally justified for me. I accept it. I'm good with it. But I can see how if it was something less than like something just ignorant that she said that doesn't pertain to like a certain religion or race of people, then I think then we could have the conversation of is it on the line of like um uh not being fired or having to be fired or whatever like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you hear. And if you want to hear some of the issues that you care about discussed on Discussion Lounge, go ahead and drop them in the comments section.